Okay, so for this task, we're going to look at using the Add Location feature within Google SketchUp. So first of all, I'll just bring up a block of land I found on the internet, and that's the block I'm going to look up. Okay, so the block of land I'm going to look up is this one here. So I found a block on realestate.com, and it's in Byron Bay, and this is the address, and I'm going to look at, for this project, the focus is going to be landscaping this block, so the house will be provided for you. All right, so let's dive in and look at the Add Location feature. All right, so I'm just going to go File, Add Location. Now, there's a few reasons why this is a fantastic tool. One is you can orientate your home in the correct location on a real block of land and have a really good idea of your north, south, east and west and positioning your home on the block. So that's one really helpful thing. The other really helpful thing is elevations. So you can bring in a 3D elevation of the block. So this is great if you're thinking about cut and fill on a block, or if you're thinking you've got a bit of slope to deal with, what that means for your design that you're going to do. So it gives you a really good understanding of elevations that you might need to consider. So the block, I'm just searching it here. All right, there we go. It's come up. Search it. And here it is here. It's that number 30 I can see there. So just zooming out a little bit, we can see the beautiful beach over here. And we can see the block of land here, number 30. So just jumping back to here, let's try and picture where that existing house is. So there's an existing build there right next to number 30. And I'm sort of looking at some of the other features on the picture there. And I can see this bunch of trees here. You know, to me, that there is that bunch of trees there. Okay, so you can start to think about, okay, where is the actual block on this picture? So what we might do next is just go set location or geolocation on this. Just before I do, a couple of things you could do. You could, if I had a SketchUp model, a home in my file, we could actually make it so that we could see that model on this picture. I don't at the moment, it's a blank SketchUp file. And then you can switch your map between a couple of different types. But I'm going to go with this one here. So set location. And go with something like that. Now I can hit import context. Right, import context, and we've got our true north facing this direction. I can see that, and we'll go and click on that. It's going to give me a few options here, so I can mess around with this. I'm going to tick 3D mesh, and I'm going to leave my mesh density high in this case, and I'll leave my resolution high. Now, a couple of things I could do here is just toy with this size, and what do I want to show, or what do I want to import and bring in. All right, and remembering 30 is there. Okay, I might just go with that for now, import site context. Okay, it says successful, Great, I'll close that. All right, so let's have a look. I can see it has brought that in exactly as I had wanted. Now, I can see my true north with that yellow-orange colour. Now, what it's done over here is it's brought that in and it's tagged under a few layers. So if I want to look at the flat site that's already turned on, this is the flat image, I can also turn on this tag, which gives me a look at elevations. Okay, so you can see on the whole image that I've gathered what the elevations are. So you can start to see how helpful that might be if you're building a home on a block that has got a slope on it. Now, for the most part, the area we're building on here is quite flat. Okay, so they can be turned on and off, as well as the image can be turned on and off as well. So one of our next things to do here is I want to draw, I guess, get an idea of the block of land itself and position it to where I think it should be. So I'm going to get my rectangle tool, half a rectangle. I'm just going to draw a rectangle to start with, and on the same plane that picture's on. And I'm going to do it, I'm using a millimeters template. You can see down the bottom right of the screen. I'm going to do 40 meters by 20 meters. So 40,000, 20,000. All right. And that has given me the block size that 30 Kendall Street is. And I'm going to grab that now and bring it over. Oops. It's a good example of a step I've missed. So now I've drawn that, I'm going to actually select all, right click, make group. And I could even add a tag here, call it block. And if I select on that, entity info, there we go, so it's tagged. I can turn it on and off. Now I can move this over to maybe roughly where I think it should be to start with, and just have a bit of a play here trying to position this correctly. All right, so maybe I'll go somewhere like this to start with, and then I'll grab my rotate tool, and if I click once on the corner, click again, I can then start to rotate. I might just go do that and then go back to move. Now remember I had those trees there that were a bit of a guiding point for me. That's not too bad. Again, I was just going to go to rotate, click once, twice, sort of align this block with the road a bit down this end, and then I think we're pretty close. If I look at those trees there, and if I look at the picture, okay, you can see there, so there's a little bit of tree on that side. Let's have a look at this. All right, so maybe I can just go a little bit further this way. There we go. And then if I'm being really picky, something like that. All right, so I've got my block of land all set up, ready for me to do the next part, okay? And that is bringing in my SketchUp file and orientating it correctly. So just a quick one on that. If I go File, Import, this is a file I've provided you on the Canvas course. Let's have a look, Import. Give it one moment to catch up. And I'm going to go with the file Modern White House and import it. All right, so here's my home. All right, and I know it needs to fit somewhere on here. And this is where I'm probably going to stop this tutorial, because I want you to really consider the orientation of how you're going to, which way you're going to face this home on this block. things you might want to consider are sunlight, weather, which way is north, the view. So those are important factors. The other thing I'm going to get you to consider is whereabouts. Like maybe you know which way you're going to face the home, but the other thing you need to consider now is whereabouts do you position this on the block of land itself. Keeping in mind the landscape design brief, which talks about having a pool, outdoor entertaining area, and beach access being important. Okay, so when you've decided on your orientation and your position on here, we're just going to use those rotate tools as well as the move tool to position this correctly on your block of land.